I feel like we should start the show.
Good.
Do we want to try to do this?
I don't know. Does it work?
Yeah, of course it's going to work. You kidding me? It's me. It is the Truck Show podcast. Who am I?
Don't let them fool you.
Lightning. Who are you?
I'm just me.
Yeah. This is good. We get off to a bad start. Here we go.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck. 'Cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted. We have the
Everybody
lowered
sing
and
along.
everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel and the ones that run on gas. So the Truck Show. The Truck Show. The Truck Show. Oh.
It's the Truck Show with your hosts, Lightning and Holman.
You know, I've been talking about us doing this for like 6 years now. And the last show of the year, you're like, hey, we should do this. I think I can make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, all right. Holman's getting liquored up. Lightning doesn't have anything yet. I guess, are there any DPs in the fridge over there? No?
Nope.
There's a lot of liquor here in the back
There's
of the
some
pod
Blackened
shed.
over there. So there's some Kentucky Owl. Got some Dirty Prospect. I mean, I brought you a glass. I just don't think you can handle it. All right. Who wants to see Lightning take a sip of, this would be a 133 proof.
Oh my God. I'm not working.
Okay.
So Gail asked me to come in tomorrow to shoot some video. I said, no, I might not feel okay.
All right. So again, this is some seagrass that a friend gave me, and this is a 16-year bottle. So it's cask strength. It's 66.67% alcohol by volume. Jeez. Rye whiskey finished in Martinique rum, Madeira, and apricot brandy barrels. It's absolutely delicious. I just want everybody to see. Oh, look. I see Greg there showing me what he's got. I'm going to take this glass here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. And watch my face as I drink the whiskey.
I don't know if I can replicate that. Damn, Gina, what'd you do? Sucking that down. I don't know that I can do that. That's gonna hurt me. Oof. But you're a professional. That's not fair. Oh, Jesus.
Yep. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pour some for you. Mm-hmm. You just have to sip it. But I want them to see the same face you make for me every time we do this exercise.
I don't. All right.
I know you don't. That's why it's... Okay, that's lightning.
Am I sucking this whole thing down, or am I just tasting it?
No? We need you to finish the show.
All right.
Yeah, that was just...
This has quite a nose on it. Whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. You sure this isn't jet fuel? Is this JP8? What is this?
You saw the video of almost lighting my beard on fire when I was lighting my glass to light my cigar? No, it was about the same proof, though.
Okay. All right.
There he goes.
I have to smile and get it out of the way first. All right, here we go.
Uh-huh.
That is good.
Yeah, you're such a liar. Your insides are crawling out of you right now.
Holy balls. That is...
Your eyes foaming?
Freaking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
Yeah, that's got quite a kick to it right there. Come on, guys, drink with us. Let's get this thing going here. We've got quite a few folks online. Yeah, Dave, what's up? Dave, can you unmute? Let's talk to you for a second.
Lightning, we have a whole thing we have to do, like thank our sponsors.
Are we into the show already?
Well, this is the show, yeah.
Okay.
But...
I'm feeling that. Dude.
And I just...
Hold on a second. Hold on. I got to get a Dr. Pepper or something to cheese. Are there any in the fridge?
Yeah, there's a couple left.
I'm coming around his side now. Here we are.
Yeah, he's on my side. I tried not to ever let him behind me. Just don't ever trust him. Keep your eyes on a swivel.
Oh, one.
No, there should be two. There's beer in there. I was going to say, there's 805. There you go.
Look at that.
Good. That's what you need. You need to mix whiskey and 805. That'll be great for you. Here's the deal, guys. We want to be interactive with you guys. Use the chat feature, and we're going to go down and we'll catch up on those. We'll be in and out of doing a normal show. This is our first time doing this. It's super weird, I bet, and we're going to make it happen. So first, we got to thank Nissan, our presenting sponsor. So as you guys know, Nissan has been with us since the beginning. In fact, I have myself a brand new 2025 Nissan Frontier that I'm testing
What is
right
the
now.
orange color? Because it is gorgeous.
Afterburner.
Even in the dark light out in your street this evening. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. So I had a chance to go to Tennessee and drove it there, and then had one here and took it out to the desert a couple days ago and took it off-road. And same Frontier you know and love, but, man, the interior updates with the big screen, freaking awesome. Super high resolution. And then this is going to sound like a really weird thing. the tilt and telescoping steering wheel, because before we just tilt,
Right.
is like game changing because it's so much easier to find that perfect position. And then the seats are cool because they have.
What did you do before the tilt and telescoping steering wheel?
Adjusted my seat
you
more.
just scoot up and you're back
Yeah.
and forth.
So now it's easier to find the spot. But the seats have this cool, like, you remember when we were at SEMA and Katzkin had that, the kind of the laser perforated that had the color coming through on their seat?
Yes, kind of a two-tone. Yeah, almost like it was backlit.
That's how these are. So if you see last year's Frontier versus this year's Frontier, it's a pretty big difference in just how the seats look because the orange is coming out from behind with all those lava red accents and stuff. So really cool. So if you're looking for a midsize truck, we love the Nissan Frontier. It's a great truck, a lot of value. Head on down to your local Nissan dealership or head over to nissanusa.com where you can build and price. Lightning's trying to kill himself. Let's see if he can do a Banks raid.
Oh, that's the normal face right there. Oh, my Lord.
Do you need a minute?
So with Banks, I want to break some news. Earlier today, it's Friday when we're recording this, and we got the news from our test group that the Monster Ram for the 2017 to current Duramax is now 50 state emissions compliant. That's the Monster Ram intake elbow. So all my peeps in California and the other 17 states that follow California's communism can get themselves in on some Banks Monster Ram action. Head over to bankspower.com to get yours. And what does it do? What does this cast aluminum intake elbow do? It improves throttle response and decreases your turbo speed. So,
Are you finding the alcohol is getting in the way of you explaining the product?
no, it's making it flow.
Okay.
If you want yourself a big, badass Monster Ram, head over to bankspower.com, type in your year, make, and model, and buy yours, especially if you live in Cali.
And we have to thank our friends over at AMSOIL. So if you are in the market for synthetic lubrication, AMSOIL, First and Synthetics, they are the best. We use them on our vehicles. We love them. You guys should too. And also, thanks for all the support. We heard from AMSOIL that a lot of our listeners are using our code over there. So, hold on.
What do you got?
Look, I got a shirt.
You got
my
the
shirt.
the hat on?
You got the hat? Yeah.
Well, I'm wearing the Santa hat.
It's a Santa hat.
Yep.
So head on over to AMSOIL.com where you can take advantage of some really great products.
Now we're talking EGR, correct? All right, so EGR, I think it's going to be the last couple days of up to 30% off the EGR manual roll track. So, your boy Lightning here has the automatic, the fully electric roll track. If that's too much, then you should consider the manual roll track. 30% off and up to, I believe, a $250 rebate at EGRUSA.com, and it's good till the end of this year. That means you've got like a week and a half as of this date that you're hearing this. EGRUSA.com. Get your EGR roll track ASAP.
All right, so let's bring our boy Dave on. Dave's been helping us for a while on our social, and if you guys are following Instagram, Dave's the mastermind behind that. So, hey, Dave.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
thanks for going live, guys. This is pretty awesome.
I don't know. I think that review might be premature, my friend.
Well, it's fun. I'm excited that we're doing this. I know, almost a year ago, I came out and we sat down and I was like, we need to do this. Even if it's just short clips, I think the more interaction that we get to do, the more it's going to boost our engagement and everything else on the socials. But the most important part is I think we as listeners love that garage feel, that shop talk that you guys bring to our podcast twice a week now.
Which is rad because
pretty awesome.
you're in the garage, as is, we got Rich in the garage. I don't know where Chase is. I can't tell. I'm staring at the ceiling there.
iPhone MF.
Oh, there he is. That's a garage. Yeah. Who is that? Unmute yourself. Who is
Gainer.
that? Oh, what's up, Mr. Gainer? How you doing?
What's up?
By the way, mad props to Greg, who just plastered an AMSOIL sticker on his forehead.
Yeah, also, everybody, I got a lot of emails. If you guys emailed truckshowpodcast@gmail.com and got a very simple what the link and the password were, that was me trying to catch up with everybody. Put in the chat how long you've been listening to the show, because I know some of you guys were first-time listeners and would love to do a little call-out for you guys.
First-time listener, long-time caller.
Stop doing that. It's worse live. Don't do
it's
it.
not.
And then we're going to be using the chat.
KFI AM 640. It's Dub Like. It's Flash Friday, everybody.
That's what happens when I start the show by getting him liquored up. Normally we don't do that till the end of the show. All right, be sure to use the chat function. We're going to go through that. And I don't know, where do you want to start? I feel like there's a lot to talk about. Do we want to make the announcement and then make noise, or do we want to just
Do we want to start with some bum out?
Nah, let's go with the rest of the show. Forget it. All right, so
We'll let Dave decide. Dave, you want the good or the bad first?
No, let's go with the good stuff. We'll save the announcement for the very end. Hey, I do want to tell you guys I went live on our socials just before, so you may have a few more emails waiting for Zoom information.
Yeah, I've got my my inbox is open right now, so I've been keeping an eye on it. Our last person to ask was our friend Dan Pass over there in the corner. So if you guys don't know, Dan Pass has been in the automotive industry for a super long time. Good friend of mine. He was at Nissan. And he was instrumental in helping to get that sponsorship. He's Nikola, and he's been at a bunch of car companies, but he's a industry pro, good friend of mine. I haven't seen him for a while, so Dan, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Thank you for your support from the very beginning, because if it weren't for you, this group of people wouldn't be here right now.
Just glad to be here, my friends. Just glad to be here.
What are you drinking?
Oh, well, that's a good question. A little Woodford, actually.
Oh, nice. Woodford's
yeah.
that's
I'm
a
here
great
for
go-
you, babe. You know that.
I appreciate you, my friend. I've got a lot to talk about. Do you have a lot to talk about?
Well, the thing that is that everyone was talking about today is the return potentially of the Hemi V8. Do you want to get into that? I mean, that's normally truck news. Do you want to save that?
I don't think that's going to be the return. They just said they're going to put it in the Durango.
But I think that's kind of like the tip of the iceberg potentially, or that's no?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think so, but I don't know.
Why?
I think, when you're climbing mountains, there's a thing called a false peak.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's when you're like going, oh, if I just make it to the top, and you turn the corner, and you're like,
There's
oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this might just be one of those types of things. Now, Kaniskis is back at Ram as we discussed, and Tim is ultimate, V8 guy. Mm-hmm. But he would have, when he left 6 months ago, he would have had to be on the program for moving forward with the 6s. Obviously, the V8 gas is still available in the heavy duty, but he doesn't oversee Dodge, right, for the Durango. So somebody made that decision. Did all the executives get together and say, let's just put it in one car and kind of keep the line alive? Or Hemi was already said to be kind of close to its limit of being able to meet next generation emissions. That engine's 15 years old or whatever at this point. I would love to see them announce that they're matching General Motors and investing in a new generation of that, maybe a smaller displacement, something like that. But I don't know that this is the return. Now, this is also interesting. Today came out, we've been talking about the Ram Rev, the extended range EV.
Right.
And that's
the locomotive, correct?
Yep. They're now pushing that ahead of the regular full EV Ram, because the consumer demand and what they've been seeing has been off the charts for the range extender. So they're saying that's coming first, and then they're pushing off the full EV indefinitely. 26, who knows?
You don't want to guess as to where we're going to be this time next year?
I'm going to be here.
Dave asked us to wait.
So I don't know. I always have my ear to the ground, but I couldn't tell you for sure. I don't think this is the return of the V8. I think this is just a few people kicking and screaming, and sales are down, and said, you know what, we can do it one more year, make a bunch of money off of it. We should do it.
Oh, I just got a notification. I don't know.
Well, that was me. Yeah, Mike or Greg, I was trying to get you to jump in on this.
How'd you get Mike out of that?
Sure.
I looked at Mike, and then I looked at Greg, and I got both names. And I've had whatever the this is.
There you go. I got mine too. There you go. Cheers.
Oh, my God. That is great.
66.6% alcohol by volume. You're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, mine's 108 proof. So mine's 54%. So
he's having problems over there.
I'm not hamming it up. It's strong.
So here's the thing. You guys, we don't have the bleep over here.
Rich, what's your story there? What do you got there? I see it's an XJ in the garage there.
It's the XJ. I actually sent you guys a Know Your Note on it, and this is the one that has the Volkswagen diesel in it.
Solid.
Nice.
Are you on a laptop, or what are you in? Can you take us around so we can see the engine, or no?
No, I got a desktop right here. So
Okay.
So just like this show, you'll have to imagine the visuals.
What? No, they don't want to imagine the visuals. What?
Did you say visuals?
I said visuals. Visuals. Yeah, that's the 90 proof talking or whatever the hell.
90
this is.
proof? No.
What is it?
No, it's 133.3
Oh,
proof.
my
Do you want some
God.
more?
Sure. I mean, the show's going to be a disaster. We talked about this.
Well, we know that.
It's going to be a mess.
right.
You guys are seeing the beginning of the end. Yes.
Sausage being made.
Don't say that. No one wants to see sausage being made, especially ours.
I don't even want to see that.
Rich, I want to know
Weekly.
what challenges did you run into when you did that swap, or did you buy it? I can't recall the story.
Probably the hardest thing was figuring out the wiring. But once I figured that out, it was super simple. There's companies that make adapter plates for them, and they make a ton of adapters for like Rangers and Samurais and all that. So it's super simple swap. And this thing, it's on 35s, and I did custom, built my own 3-link for the front and all that. So this thing, it's fun for sure.
All right, I'm going to go through the comments here so we can catch up on some of these. Again, feel free to throw some comments in there. We'll slide through them as we can. Caesar, Oceanside in the house, FBI surveillance, Fullerton, Roscoe's here. Dude, Roscoe's solid. Caesar, if Nissan and Honda merged, you have to consider the Ridgeline an actual truck now. No, we do not. FBI is now drinking at Roscoe's. Michael Sprague, good evening. Caesar, sip some pre-workout like a lame on the way to the gym. Let's see. Everybody get your screenshot of Jay. That's funny.
See what you did
That's
there?
funny.
Someone's been listening to the very end of the last couple episodes.
Hilarious.
Solid.
Greg says, thanks for creating this opportunity. I was part of the Anthem Wheels team many, many years ago. Very cool. And then...
Now, wait a minute. The Anthem wheels. Didn't Anthem get gobbled up? I think Dave knows this. Anthem got gobbled up by SDI, right? Not SDI. I'm sorry. Your parent company that you worked for a while.
Yeah, that's right. I used to work with the Team Anthem. Almost 7 years I was with them. At about the 5-year mark, they fell under the custom offsets, which then merged with SD Wheel all at the same time. So, yep, spot on.
Also, there's a bunch of you guys we can see. Unless you're whacking off right now, go ahead and turn on your camera because it's more fun when we can see what you guys are up to. Let's see, going down the row here, Caesar says the FOMO is real for those missing out right now. Michael says he's been a listener since episode 3. So I wondered if he had FOMO for 1 and 2.
You think that he's okay with not having heard 1 and 2?
Michael, have you heard 1 and 2?
Michael, unmute yourself, please, and chime in.
I went back and listened to episode 1 and 2. Actually, what it was is I was moving to my second house when I listened when episode 3 dropped, and so I had plenty of time to listen to 1 and 2 after that.
Now, was that the wife kicked you out and you had to move into a second house, or that was a happy
still
purchase?
bachelor at this time.
Okay.
It was, I was moving out of roommate situation out of an apartment and finally had enough coin to buy my own place.
Nice.
Hey, did you? So people who listen to the show, they may follow my social. They may, kind of know me and you a little bit.
At Sean P. Holman? Is that what you're talking about?
At Sean P. Holman. I don't think that they know that I have been amassing dirty old man jokes for about 3 years now.
You can't tell. Are you going to make me bleep the crap out of this?
The art of telling jokes is gone. And so what I would say to all of you fine men out there who are whiskey drinkers, amen to you. Mm-hmm. When you see an old guy, nothing will make his day more than walking up to him, sitting down on the bench saying, tell me your dirtiest joke. They will smile and they will trade you jokes. What I realized is if I'm having a cigar and I find an old guy, you start smoking cigars and drinking whiskey with an old guy who has jokes, dude, night's great. So I think I'm going to start doing like Instagram lives where I maybe just tell like dirty old man jokes.
You sure you won't get canceled?
I might. I mean, they're not all offensive, though. Some of them are just funny. I think we need more funny in the world right now.
We do. We're not supplying it, is the problem.
Maybe that should be a new segment. Holman's inappropriate old man joke of the week.
That would be the end of you as well.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I want to check in with Bryant Blakemore. Now, Bryant, you changed my life. Bryant, can you unmute yourself for a second?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
You changed his life because you compressed the spine by about 4 inches. And
now an inch shorter. That is correct. So, Brian, I don't think that you...
Now he can't go on any rides at Disneyland.
I actually was just at Disneyland.
Were you?
It was great, dude. The Rise...
Rise, that's a pretty good one. How was...
no, that's the best.
How was Small World? Was it good?
I didn't go on Small World.
Dumbo?
I'm on Small World every...
Storybook? Peter Pan? I mean, all the rides you love, they're still there.
They are.
Classics.
No, wait.
Mr. Toads?
No. Some of those are changing. They're getting PC. I think it's not. I think Peter Pan is changing, and then Mr. Toads is changing because they're like ethnic slurs or something like in those. So they're but I was on the new. Is it right? It's not Rise Against. That's the band. What is it? Rise Against whatever it is. That's freaking amazing. That Star Wars
cool.
ride, we went on 3 times.
Yeah, it's cool. And every time it's different. Did you fly the Millennium Falcon?
What'd you just
The
call it?
Millennium Falcon.
It has an N at the end, not an M. You're thinking of a different ride.
No, you go through the Star Wars one, and you can ride the Falcon at the end. You fly it.
Yeah, that's a different ride.
Is it?
That's not the Rise Against whatever that I'm talking about.
No, they're in the same spot.
They are in the same Star Wars land. That's correct. Yes. So
it's called Rise of the Resistance.
Rise of the Resistance, Caesar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing ride. If you're in Disneyland,
oh, careful.
Go there first.
We had a girl join us, and I don't know.
Yeah. Oh wait, she's yelling at the screen.
You know what's funny?
And hold on a second. Unmute yourself because she's screaming at the screen right now.
This is what's hilarious about.
I'm going to ask you to unmute. Hold on.
If you look at our analytics, we have like 2% female.
He's trying
just
to
seeing
unmute
a girl
himself.
in here.
Oh, he's unmuted. Who is this? Who's joining us?
Hi.
Hey, it's Michelle. So first of all, I want to say that you guys have cost me about $10,000 or $20,000, but I am obsessed with my pedal monster. Obsessed. But I've had to listen to a lot of podcasts in the car.
I've had to. Do you see that she's got a had to, been forced?
Oh, excuse me, in our truck, on the way to the Outer Banks. But I just wanted to say how excited my husband was to do this tonight. And I was supportive. And I just wanted to say, we love you guys. And you do have a female following.
Oh, we appreciate that. That's awesome.
Thank you very much for saying that.
That was literally the nicest thing anyone said to either of us all day.
Okay, so have a cocktail and.
Hey, can I ask you? Wait. Hold on one second.
Sorry.
Hold on. We're not done with your lady yet.
Okay.
I am wondering.
Of course.
I'm wondering from a female perspective what you like and don't like about the show.
I think it's important to explore different avenues with how to have better navigation, better tools and tricks and things that happen with your car or your truck. Because I have a Mercedes, he has a truck, we have a Jeep. You know what I mean?
Sounds like my family.
We've done different things to different vehicles. So I think it's cool to have someone who's or an outlet for different tools and tricks.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
We appreciate you.
As
Thank
a
you.
female, I wouldn't know that I needed a pedal monster on my Yukon, but I can tell you that I don't want it without it.
That's a great endorsement, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's great. You should get her.
I have this on audio.
Yeah,
I'll just transcribe this. I'll get your email address so I can turn it into a review later and put it on the website.
Jay, the same on the EcoDiesel.
On our Jeep, yeah.
On our Jeep, and it's an absolute slug.
Well, the EcoDiesel, I have talked about this before. So the EcoDiesel of all the vehicles I've ever driven, and it's a fair amount, not as many as Sean. He's driven a lot more, but I've driven a fair amount, like most people. The EcoDiesel is the worst off the line by far. I mean, there are some CVT transmission cars that are bad.
It's better in the Jeep because it's lighter. It's really bad in the Ram. Like the EcoDiesel in the Ram is horrendous in terms of pedal response.
I stole this from Gail Banks, but he says, with the EcoDiesel, I can grow a beard faster than I can get into boost.
Yeah, this started when I first got into an EcoDiesel.
Right?
Yeah. It was actually brown then, too.
The bummer is that it really is an incredible engine. That Viamatori EcoDiesel is a wonderful one. I mean, Scott Birdsall, he had some issues with it, but it made 900 horsepower. You can do a lot. And Banks famously put it in, maybe not famously, but has it in a hybrid Humvee. And it's a really badass engine, but it just takes so long. So I'm glad it transformed it for you. Not to turn this into any kind of a Banks commercial, but that's rad.
No, I mean, it was great. So it is life-changing for us. And I need speed. I do like a fast car, so I'll say that.
Awesome.
So wait, what Mercedes are you driving?
C43.
Dude, she has an AMG.
Your brethren or sister in.
You didn't see this, but Holman just held up the slow sign on me off camera.
Hey, we got lots of stuff to get to.
Okay,
we got a show
Holman,
here.
Next up, thank you very much.
Sorry, the lady hijacked the show. I'm sorry.
No, that's great.
You're the best.
You can hijack anytime. We appreciate you.
Thank you
immensely.
Right,
Holman, who's up next?
Love you guys.
Oh, wait. Hey, wait. I never got to Bryant because I never told him how he changed my life. We were joking about compressing my spine, but really, Bryant, I want to get back to you for a second. So for those of you that don't know, for those of you that do not know, Bryant Blakemore took me
Yep, I'm here.
in the passenger seat of his Ram race truck. Can't remember. You'll tell us 2009 or something like that. 2500 HD, and with straight axle suspension.
You would know him more as Takachi Motorsports.
And he took me to the Min 400. And it wasn't scary. He never scared me, but I thought that it was going to break my spine because he launched off the first jump and we hit so hard that I thought I won't be able to finish this lap, which was like 100 miles or something.
Right. Yeah. It's a 2004 2500 crew cab, 4-wheel drive. At that point in time, it still had the original 5.7 Hemi and the 545 RFE transmission in it. After that race, I was pretty disappointed in the performance of the truck. And so we yanked that drivetrain out and we put a 392 out of a Scat Pack Challenger in it and an 8 HP 70 8-speed. And we also re-geared it to 488 and put it on 40-inch tires because I was dragging the front differential through the rocks, and bad enough that I actually split the axle in half.
What?
Wait, Brian, I have to ask you to pause really quick.
Hold on. Newsflash.
My 17-year-old just came because she's a good kid and brought her dad a icy cold Dr. Pepper. Do you want to say hi?
Am I on the podcast?
Yeah, you're on the podcast.
You got an audience right here.
Hi, guys.
They're all muted, so they're not going to talk back.
Oh, I haven't been on since episode 50.
How old were you then?
Like 10.
You were half the height.
I think you're 12.
Probably.
Is it weird having a podcast studio in your backyard?
Not really. I'm kind of used to it now.
She's doing music and guitar and bass and stuff, so she's done some of her recordings out here, and then her friends are always impressed that she has access to an actual sort of studio, and then they told her that she can no longer use my equipment to record because it wasn't fair to the other students. In the comments, she's 17. We have been teaching her how to drive. She's got a Honda CR-V from her grandma. Nice 2016. It's got 50,000 miles.
You mean the CR-V that you abscond with quite often?
Yes. And well, she's not using it yet. I'm trying to get her to finish. So tell everybody, what's it like having a dad who is an automotive be your teacher for driving?
He definitely knows what he's doing, and he's good at it.
Oh, really? I didn't think that was going to be your answer.
What would you expect me to say?
I don't know. I was curious as to what your answer is going to be.
I think you're lying. I think that he's annoying and drives you crazy.
Am I a good teacher?
Sometimes.
Well, okay. All right. What's the worst thing that I did to you while driving? What's the best thing?
Can I say what the worst thing I did to you
while
driving?
Okay. I think you would enjoy that.
I almost killed him and me when we got
what?
When there was a city bus. I hate city buses. City buses, if you're listening, I hate you. Not a fan.
Because?
They're in the way, and they're big.
They're in the way?
Like, I'm trying to drive, and they're in my way.
Okay.
Wow, she is a product of Sean Holman right here. Holy mackerel.
So what happened?
I don't even remember. I just remember swerving because the city bus was trying to get into my lane.
I remember.
So it's the city bus's fault.
No, I think it was you probably getting in its lane.
She had a moment, but how our lowest spot to where we are now? How do we persevere on that? How did your teacher? By the way, nobody else has really taken her driving but me. So and then her driving instructor. That's it.
Yeah.
So, what's your most memorable moment of your dad taking you driving?
Probably getting almost killed by the city bus.
Is that it?
That was it?
How about when you freaked out in the middle of the street while we had...
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
So wait a minute, you freaked out and you just wouldn't move? You were sitting there and traffic was going around you?
I just forgot how to drive. That was like 1 week into having my permit.
Yeah,
so that was not recent. I know what I'm doing now.
That was a tough moment. No, she's a good driver now, and I think we're getting ready for probably take her test in January, February. So we're getting close, and she's a good kid. So anyway,
that's awesome.
She's also a good kid because she brought me a ice cold.
Perfect. She's training.
I'm like, can I have a sip?
No, I left. There's 2 in there. You go get
yeah.
How do you feel about co-hosting? See you later.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
Bye.
All right, you're awesome.
All right, there's my awesome kid. So she's my oldest. My little one's probably asleep by now. No, she's not. Brian, sorry to interrupt there, but I had a Dr. Pepper delivery, and I had to make sure that we took care of that.
That was important. So, Bryant, we're getting back to you and how you changed my life. So, Bryant and I had never been to the Min 400. He takes me down the main. We go into Vegas, and for those of you that aren't familiar with the Mint 400. It's named after, I think, the Mint because of the Mint Hotel. No, wait, why is it called
Yes.
the Mint?
Yeah, Mint Hotel.
The Mint Hotel
That's
started.
where everything started, like in the late 60s, early 70s. Sometime everything was in front of the Mint Hotel.
So that's in downtown Las Vegas in kind of the seedy section. It's better now, but it's still sort of seedy. But they have this parade through downtown Las Vegas, and we're all piled into the back of Bryant's truck, and you literally have throngs of thousands of people. I mean, touching your tires as you're driving down the street. It's so packed, and you feel like you're in a Rose Parade float, or you've just won the Super Bowl or you know, the World Series, and you're on a float going down the street of whatever your hometown is. It's just crazy. So that was really, really neat, and that's before the race even started. So then Bryant goes and he has to check in the truck, and they got to make sure everything is, you know, copacetic, and then we drive 20 minutes outside of town to a little podunk town where they've got the racetrack set up, and I get the first lap. I don't know how Brian chose me, but that was super rad, and I get in my suit that I barely fit into because I'm fat. He took me out on the first lap, and I remember thinking, this truck, it may make it to the end, but it won't be in one piece, because they had worked on it all the day. We stayed out there, and he rented a house, and all the guys were wrenching on it right up
Do you have that really long story drop right now?
I do, but I'm not going to play it on myself.
I was just checking. Okay.
Suffice it to say that we made it to the end of the first lap. The engine that was in there wasn't all that powerful, and cars were lapping us. But what I remember is not just the first jump where we landed it so hard I thought my spine was going to come out of my ass. That it actually
wouldn't it come out of your neck though?
No, it came down like this, and I thought it was going to come out of my tailbone, like it was just going to
shoot right out. Right, got it.
We get to
Do you have one of those little lights that you can flash in my eyes and the memory goes away?
And by the way, I do not have a catheter, so in 2/3 the way through
I told you to have a catheter.
I get it. I didn't.
I told you all the things you need. Oh.
I don't. And by the way, Bryant is a Mac Daddy and doesn't have a catheter, and went 4 laps, I think, without one.
You're not him.
I'm not him. He's a pro. 2/3 the way through, I don't want to tell him. I'm doing the GPS. I got to pee, but I'm going to hold it. What am I going to do? I'm not going to wet myself. We finally get about...
What mile is this? Is this like 20? We have another 380 to go?
No,
okay,
we're like 3/4 the way through, and I decide I realize I have to go, but I'm not going to go. I'm not going to even tell him that I have to go because I don't want to break his concentration. And we get onto this dry lake out there where all those electrical poles are. You know what I'm talking
electrical
about?
Towers?
Yeah, the electrical towers are. We're doing as fast as his truck will go.
Those are bringing electricity from the Hoover Dam into places beyond.
Well, when it's foggy, you can hear them go zzz. It's very disturbing, and you get no cell reception because they distort everything. We're going 60 miles an hour, and there's a fair amount of dust around us, and Bryant is going as fast as he can go. And all of a sudden, we hear this, and we get passed by trophy trucks. Now, all of a sudden, we're in dust.
On both sides. We got
on
flanked
both sides.
by trophy trucks.
Yeah.
That'll scare the crap out of you.
We were on lap 1, and they were coming in to start lap 3.
Dude.
They go past us. Now Bryant is in a blackout.
Yep.
And we have 150-foot electrical towers to our left. We don't know how far to our left other than the GPS, the nav, the Lowrance that I'm looking at, and an iPad that I'm looking at. If I tell him the wrong direction, we slam one at 90 miles an hour.
Well, here's the thing. You've never been his co-dog before, which means that he has a lot of faith in you to tell him how to steer at that point.
So we made it, and that was this. For me, that was the scariest because I couldn't see where I was going. I have not spoken to Bryant since that time.
What, that traumatized?
Bryant, how?
I heard you think of him often,
though.
Is it true?
How was that for you?
Man, it was great. I enjoy putting people in my truck that have not experienced this motorsport before. In all fairness, this particular truck is not that hard to drive. It weighs 10,000 pounds, and it's not really fast. It's pretty durable. We just raced in April. We did Vegas to Reno, 555 miles, took second in our class, only because I had a conversation with Ford, and we came to an agreement to let the Bronco DR race Class 8 with us. So that's quite a bit faster vehicle than the Dodge, but we came in behind them. And it's not too bad, but the main thing is I like introducing people to the sport and giving them opportunities. And I know that Holman kept telling all his stories about racing off-road and being with the Halls and all this.
Who?
And I knew that Lightning, you needed an opportunity to do that. And if you remember, in the staging lanes, we actually sat and talked with Josh Hall for a while too. So you finally got on that same level as Holman. And that was my ultimate goal, was to get you there so that you had your own war stories.
Now, so Bryant, I don't think that I told you what happened because at the moment it was embarrassing. But after it became very, very funny. And I shared it on this story.
Was Josh Hall wearing a catheter and pull a little dirty trick on you?
Josh Hall peed on me. And I thought at the time, I'm like, oh, that's weird. That's kind of, damn, he got me. And then it became funnier as the time went on.
That's nothing.
But he peed on my foot.
Peeing there is way different than somebody stepping on your catheter tail and letting you walk away. And
that didn't happen.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You're lucky.
But the fact that
he didn't have a catheter.
The fact that he peed on me when I was posing for a photo with him,
which is super funny.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's an old racer thing right there. Hey, listen, you just bring Kristen into the brotherhood. That's all that was.
The fact that he was able to pee on command is pretty cool.
All right, I want to go and look at our comments here. So Michael says he's been around since episode 3. Greg since year 1. Rich from day 1. Eric since day 1. Marshall listening since episode 70 or so. Marshall, are you the same Marshall that made us a 3D printed Cybertruck and a penis wearing a crown?
Yes, that would be me.
All right, so hold on a sec.
I got it.
We have gifts here from all of the listeners, all the things we've gotten, and bring it over.
Oh, you're going to show it? Yeah. Okay, all right. Can I do the penis? You want to do the
sure.
truck?
I know you like holding that sort of thing. So here's our Cybertruck. So he 3D printed this beauty. When Lightning had decided that he was going to put down his $100 deposit that he still doesn't have back.
I never got it back, by the way.
So this lives in the studio, and along with the...
Here it is.
Although,
look at this.
Lightning dropped it one day, and it broke off the crown.
This one broke right here. But I think you can still... His Majesty is still standing proud.
From time to time, you guys have sent us stuff over the years, and it's all in here.
This is disturbing, isn't it?
The fact that you're holding it and still just like, you should put it down now.
It's massive, by the way. I mean, like, seriously.
That's what she said. They can't see the corner over here, but we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got the Ant Farm is in here, and we've got the couple truck show podcast things.
How did we
Hot Wheels.
How did we get Abraham Lincoln? What's the story with him?
Oh, I think I added that. That was so like when you were a kid and you'd go to like the wild animal park or something.
I can't reach it. Can you get that?
So you would go to the wild animal park and they would have that machine that was like the hot wax where you put the quarter in and it would make something, and it was like 100-degree day at the zoo, and you can get like a tiger or something like that. And when the tiger came out of that, listen, if you're younger than 40, this doesn't make sense, but if you're older than 40, you remember these things.
Is that right next to the penny crushing machine?
Yes,
oh,
yes,
okay.
where you turn the penny into an oval.
Yes.
Yeah, so this thing would like take those two metal plates and it would extrude a figurine. And so I was at Greenfield Village in Detroit at the museum, and I'm like, I haven't done one of those in so long. And then they had Lincoln. I'm like, I'm getting Lincoln for the pod shed. All right, let's see. FBI surveillance, day 1 listener. Been listening to Lightning since 1997.
Oh,
back in the DJ Tweeter days.
Oh my God, DJ Tweeter. So that's because I talk so high.
Okay,
that's how that happened.
Doing that. Caesar, day 1 listener. Michael said he did go back to episode 1 and 2. Brian H, day 1. Blake Prickett, 3 years. Caesar says the crate engine was never going away, right? It was just removed as an option for vehicle ordering. Yeah, so I think you'll still be able to buy Hemi crates. That goes back to the previous conversation. So just scroll through here. Caesar's at the gym, but have people raised their hands.
Chase Hughes, what are you driving? What brings you to the Truck Show podcast?
I am currently in a 2024 F-150.
Great truck.
And can you give us a quick review on that 24 F-150?
Well, if he's going to do that, you should play the music.
And yeah, you've blah, blah,
all right,
blah.
Chase, you have to do a you review for everybody here because you were a hand raiser.
Got it. Well, how about this one?
Truck review.
No, not that one.
Rolling coal and dragging truck mud.
No, that's for us. You have to do the you review.
The you review.
The you review.
Yeah, I'm looking for it here. This one.
Yes.
Oh.
It's all about your truck. Is it great or does it suck? Before I buy, I need a clue. pull punches. You review.
You review. All right, I found it.
Chase, you're up.
24 F-150. It's a crew cab long bed, so a crew cab with a 6.5 foot bed. I've got the 3.5 EcoBoost in it, upgraded from a 2020 Ranger when I bought it back in August. I needed something with a little bit bigger bed because I plan on road tripping because I have brothers that live all over the country. I plan on road tripping with it, and I also got a Honda Trail 125, so I needed something with a bigger bed in it. So far, I've got like 4,700 miles on it. Loving it so far. Haven't done any long trips to it yet, like nothing more than an hour. But
have you made any modifications to it yet? Because Lightning says that no one ever mods F-150s.
Not yet.
Yeah, see?
Not yet.
See?
Not yet, he says.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking at it. I'm probably going to get a cap to it just so I can feel better about hauling the trail with me. And so I don't have to worry about hauling the trailer or towing a trailer at all with it when I road trip.
Are you a Ford guy?
I've mostly been a Ford guy, yeah.
What do you like about this truck?
It's definitely a big power increase from the Ranger, even though I love the Ranger. Only having a 5 foot bed on the Ranger, I needed something bigger because with the trail, I would have to run with the tailgate down all the time if I were to put it in the bed. But
so overall, give us your rating here. Are you recommending the 24?
Well, did we ever decide what the rate is? It a 5-star rating system because it's the podcast is a thumbs up, thumbs down.
It is 5-star. It is a 5-star rating.
5 star.
Yes. Yeah. So are you giving this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars? Chase.
Okay,
on
hold on.
the F-150.
Chase, if the podcast you're listening to right now is 5 stars, how many stars is the F-150?
It's probably still a 5.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. Oh, solid. All right.
Man, he gives out stars like nobody's business. We should keep him around.
I guess so. All right, here's what I want to do. So, Chase, go ahead and mute yourself. Thank you for weighing in here. I want to talk to a couple of people. I want to go through the list of people, Jason, Marshall, and find out why you are a such and such person. Why are you a Ram guy? Why are you a Ford guy?
Why
are
do you still
a
listen
GM
to us?
guy? No.
Yeah.
So the first one, I want a hand raiser. Who is a Ram guy and why? Let's start with Greg. He's a Ram guy. I want to find out why.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had Rams for probably since I could drive. I started out with a 96 12 valve, and then I bought a 98 12 valve with a blown up motor, and that was kind of like when I was about 18 or 19. So I was able to buy an engine, and we did everything to it: cam, injectors, head studs, springs, turbo, manifold, everything to that thing, and that was such a fun truck. And I still have my latest truck, which is I wouldn't say latest, but the next truck, which is an 06 Mega Cab. I don't think I'll ever get rid of that truck.
Mega Cabs freaking rule. The best thing is
I love it.
The bed in the back seat's the best thing.
Yeah, I love that truck. That truck, the goal is repaint it, clean it up, because it's shown its age a little bit. It's lived outside. It's worked a lot. It's got
That sounds a lot like Lightning.
What a dick.
But it's been through a lot. It's been through a couple. I don't want to. Now I sound like a typical Dodge guy. It's been through a couple transmissions. But
hey, wait, can I? Whoa. Stop. 68 RFE Ram Air Transpan coming from Banks.
I thought you said this wasn't going to be a ad show.
I'm looking out for my future.
I see.
So that wouldn't apply to mine because mine was a 48. And then I swapped the G56 into it because I could not get my 12 valves were handshakers, and I had to have a handshaker.
Yeah, big old donkey
turbos,
dick
manifold.
What was that? 20-inch stick on that thing?
I'm sorry, again. What's that?
Like what? A 20-inch manual shifter on that thing? It's like super long. It's almost like they came from a horse.
For that kept original, maybe with a shift knob on it. But the 4-link, I cut the 4-link off the front and did a radius arm on the front. 35s, it lives on 35s. It's always had 35s on it, and that truck, I love that truck. I probably won't get rid of that truck because of the 5.9. It's the simplicity of it. I can work on it. It's easy. It's and the aftermarket's so broad for, especially with like fire punk and stuff like that. There's the aftermarket.
It's like a small block Chevy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I actually just recently picked up another project, a 14 mega cab dually that's got a bunch of mechanical issues. The lady ended up, I just randomly walked up and said, "Hey, I see this truck sitting here all the time. What's the deal?" And she goes, "You want it?" And I said, "I don't know. It depends." And she said, "It's got a lot of mechanical issues." I said, "Well, that sounds like my kind of truck then. I'll take it." So I ended up with a 14 dually, mega cab dually, which is really nice. It's a Laramie, so it's it's a lot fancier than anything I've had so far. But yeah, I've always been Rams, so I love the simplicity of the Cummins, the reliability, and friends and everyone I've grown up with and through high school have had Cummins, and we beat the living daylights out of those 5.9s, and they just would never stop. And so that's why I'm kind of partial to the 5.9 or to the Cummins, but definitely the 5.9s. But that's kind of why.
And it's crazy. So two thoughts on that. We've talked about it a gazillion times here on the show. The 5.9 is the value has gone through the freaking roof because of the pre-emissions and all that, right?
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. Yeah. Then have you dug into the you said it was a 14, so 6.7. Have you dug into it? Do you know what the mechanical issues are? Because a lot of times people will just throw up their hands and go, "I'm not mechanical. It's got a bunch of issues. Take it off my hands." And you're like, "Oh, it was injectors." And for like $1,000, you're done, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Turns out sometimes it's simple.
No, it actually turns out the lady, it's kind of a weird situation, but she was getting a divorce. And in order to assess the value of it, she took it already had issues when she took it to the dealership. And the dealership, she said, "I need you to run over with a fine tooth comb. And every little thing that's wrong with the truck, I need you to write it down and give me an estimate for so that she could have the valuation of the truck." So I got a long list of things from the dealership, but a lot of them are like real simple little things. Window regulator on the driver's side. Of course, brakes, pads, I think calipers on the front. Turbo actuator is going out though. That's a given for sure. There was a few wires that rubbed and then became bare, so it was just splicing a few of those wires. Fuel sending unit, the sensor for that went out, so it said there's no gauge on the dash for it, but there's fuel in the tank. There's just no gauge on it, so there was that issue. Typical filters, fluids, flushes, and I think the EGR valve as well was. The performance of it was low, so it was clogging up.
Okay, so it really was a lot of mechanical issues.
It really.
Yeah, you got your hands full.
Yeah, it's not too bad, really. I mean, you can find used stuff here and there, but I mean, really, with the aftermarket, the broad aftermarket with a lot of things, especially something like a window regulator. Like, I don't need a Mopar window regulator. Like, that's pretty
Rock
cheap.
Auto all day long.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously.
Yep.
Headlights, clearance lights, backup light, like all those little things that the newer trucks are throwing a lot of like lights at you, like this is out, this is out, this is out, and then it's for someone that can't wrench on it may seem like it's a lot, but it's really not too bad when you can dig into it, find a few things cheaper, find a few things used, and go from there.
Sounds like a typical Ram guy.
All right, looks like Marshall. Sounds like Marshall has his hand raised over there, so let's head on over to Marshall.
Marshall, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, dude?
I've been a Ram guy since I've been able to drive. The first truck was a 97 1500 Sport with the 5.9 Magnum in there. That thing was a dog. I remember we have high school drags out here, and I remember taking that thing out to high school drags and running like an 18-second quarter mile.
Yeah, but it's a 360, baby. Come on. Come on.
Second quarter mile.
Yeah, good times. And then actually because I was up here in Colorado and then I moved out there to California and found out that truck was actually built and sold in Canada. And when I moved back to California to go to school, I went to go register it and they flagged it as a gray market vehicle. Yeah, that was fun to deal with. Ended up trading it in at a dealership, and funny enough, they somehow wink, wink, nod, nod, smogged it and sold it to some other poor schmuck. But I traded that in and got a newer third-gen Dodge 1500 with the Hemi. That thing was sweet. Loved it. Funny enough, 2 days after I got hired at Tesla, I went and bought my Cummins. And I've had that truck for, 9 years now, and it's been the business.
Love it, brother.
How's Tesla doing?
I'd say we're doing pretty damn good.
I would say your stock's doing well. Yes. Anything
Very
associated. Yep.
well.
That's great.
Yeah, that E-Trade account looks really nice right now.
I bet it does.
So wait, when you signed, did they give you options, or how did that work?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
hell yeah. We get options. I mean, if you're a good employee, you get options potentially multiple times a year.
It's a humble brag right there. Lightning's going, I've never worked somewhere where I got options.
So there's a girl in my office. So Amelia in my office is heavily into crypto and trading, and every day she's giving me tips.
Let me do my crypto account here because...
Do you have one?
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, so here's what's funny is I was just looking at it, and well, I was going to say Bitcoin went up to like 100
grand.
3, 4, whatever.
Yes.
It's back down to 97. Shiba Inu, which is 0.000023.
Yes.
I have like 8 million shares of that.
Sure.
Because if it ever gets to like a tenth of a penny,
yes,
I'm clocking out of the world because I'm going to be rich beyond my mind.
How much did you spend on Shiba Inu?
I think I've got about $150 in it.
I have $1,000 in it.
And then XRP's been doing pretty good, although it's down today.
Yes.
And XRP was supposed to be not good, and they got in some legal regulatory stuff, and now it's coming back, and everybody's like, that's like the new one to have. I've got some Peppy, and then also I've got some Dogecoin. And then I have what they call stablecoin, which is just 1-to-1, but the APR is higher than a savings account, so I throw $25 a week in that one just because it just sits there and grows. Crypto's cool.
It's crypto hour here on the Truck Show podcast.
Hey, you know what? If it can buy me some more toys down the line, then I'm okay with it.
And it can. So Amila, she works, basically does all of our digital, in that if you're one of our dealers at banks and you need information about our parts, you log into the portal, and her work is what you display on your website. She's got like $1 million in stock right now, and it's crazy. And she works like just a regular.
Yeah. Well, you're going to need a lot more than $1 million to retire. So.
I understand that, but yeah. And then since she started teaching her daughter, who's like, I think 13 or 14, her daughter has $500,000 in stock. She's amazing. I've just like parlayed her tips into some money. It's been awesome. I want to find someone who's into GM. Why are you a GM guy?
Oh, that'd be nobody. Moving right along.
Nope. We got to have a GM guy.
Go to Dave.
So, Dave, why are you in the background? Dave, what's up? And why are you a GM
square
guy?
body action back there?
Yeah, so I gave you guys my story with the my parents, my grandparents, and the trucking company and everything, and they always, for their personal pickups, always exclusively ran GM products. So my grandfather did, my dad ran it, I ran Silverados, except for the one time I got a Tundra, and the whole time I had it, I wished that I had the Silverado. So flipped back to Chevy and have been ever since. That C10 behind me is my 15-year-old's truck. So he and I have been working on that since he was 7. In fact, just 2 days ago, he changed out the starter by himself. So super impressed. And I know we talk about it all the time on the show, but getting our kids in there and wrenching and being part of the family, like that's what it's about.
That's super cool. So we got Dave talking about GM. Do we have any Toyota or Nissan guys on the horn here? Oh, we got FBI surveillance. Hold on. Unmute yourself here. What you got going on? What's your name? Who are we talking to? All I see is FBI
Frank.
surveillance.
Frank. I bought you guys beer at Brewery X a couple years ago.
Heck yeah.
Yep, I'm a Toyota guy. My first truck was an 01 Tacoma, and right now I have an 03 V8 4Runner.
And you drive a tanker, right?
Yes, I do, for 76.
And by the way, I owe you a beer back because my wife, both of our wives were with us that day when we randomly ran into you at Brewery X, and they were very impressed with us that somebody knew who we were. So that was
I don't think it was impressed. It was more embarrassed.
No, my wife was like, that dude knows you? Did he walk up to you, bought you a beer? You're on a podcast? You know, it was funny. So
you guys are pretty famous, you know, in the truck industry and Lightning in the radio industry. So,
well, thank you.
I'll give you a beer.
How did you become a Toyota guy, or Toyota, as you just said?
My dad, 1979 Toyota. That's how he picked up my mom. Literally picked her up.
Did he put her? Wait, passenger seat or the bed?
The bed.
Okay.
He put my mom's cousin in the front side, and he said, "Who's that nice little Mexican girl in the back?" So that's how it started. So we've been a Toyota family since then.
And so, how did you arrive on the trucks now? Like, and give us a quick review. Are you happy? Are you talking about getting yourself in a new Tacoma with the TRD Pro ejection seats that they've got going on?
I'm kind of skeptical with the hybrid engine,
just
because I've heard a lot of issues with it. So right now, I'm actually personally shopping for a truck. I'm not trying to get into the new model and the new engine. So I'm going to stick with the old engine they have. I'm going to wait a while until they fix the bugs on the new hybrid engine they have going on.
Now, do we think that those hybrid issues are real, or is it Facebook real? Where
No, there's definitely
10
some
guys.
issues. No, there's some issues.
Oh, there are?
Yeah, there's some issues.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the Tundra, you get sparkles and flakes inside of the engine. So
Yeah, 100,000 people are going to get a new one because of those sparkly Magic Pixie dust. All right, looks like Michael maybe boned out. He said that he had villain light because he was in the hospital with his daughter. So hopefully she's okay. So scrolling through the comments, see if we can catch up here. Oh, here's a good one. Dave wants to know, does anyone else listen to the show at 1.5 speed? I actually edited it at 2 speed, and when I listen to us at 1, it's incredibly slow, and it's really, really hard to listen to us, so I apologize.
And when I edit the show, I do it at 1.5, but it's not a true 1.5. It's like 1.25. If I go too fast, then I miss the F-bombs and stuff like that. The last episode was the fastest one I've ever edited, this last full-length episode. But typically, it takes me frickin' 4 hours to get through these things because we flub so often. Where we screw up are the sponsor reads. We just can never get through them.
It's not clean.
They're just not clean. And, of course, they're our sponsors, so we have to do as good a job as we can.
Thank you, Nissan, AMSOIL, Banks Power, and EGR.
That's right. But when we botch one, we got to do it again and again and again. It stinks.
The problem is that we both have stuff going on during the day, and then we come here late at night.
That's our excuse. Yep. It's not real. We suck.
No, it's
but
real.
Our excuse is
much
that
better
we
in the morning.
do a lot during the day. We got Jeep Dodge guy, but I got a Frontier because of the show. So, Rich, tell us about the Frontier. Rich, are you still in here? Let me move my window around. Do we still have Rich
he's
in
there.
here? Rich, tell us about the Frontier.
Early on in the show, I kept hearing you guys talk about the Frontiers, and I was in the market for a pickup, but I wanted a midsize. And I was going back and forth between the Frontier and Tacoma. I went with the Frontier because it was a little more obtainable, and so far I like it. It's a great truck. I can't remember how many miles I had on it now, but it's got over 200,000 miles on it. It's definitely keeps us going and it's doing the job. So I gotta blame you guys for it.
Would it surprise you, Rich, that there is some regret? I have some regret over buying the TRX and not the Frontier, and this is not because Nissan is a partner of ours. The TRX was it's more than double the price, but the TRX is amazing. It's a lot of truck, but there's a lot of times that 90% of the time I don't need that much truck. Like Hallman, when he does the lines, the beginning of the show, and it's like, if you don't want too much truck, you want a simple truck, you want something that's just going to get point A to point B.
There's a lot of value.
There's a lot of value. And I will tell you that I was looking at the Frontier, but I was seduced by the power of the supercharged V8. I was seduced by the interior. I was seduced by the
I've got a
Uconnect.
Frontier right now, and I'll tell you, the thing that I love about it is you just get in and drive it.
And I miss that because the TRX feels like a lot of truck. No, it doesn't feel giant and lumberous. It is agile, but it doesn't feel like a Frontier. I have some regret for not pulling that trigger.
Well, it's a lot of truck to drive in the city.
It is.
It's a big truck. It's wide, parking, all that. The Frontier is great. You just get in and you drive
and
it.
I daily.
Yeah.
So,
Caesar says that you were baptized with hellish water.
Who was I? What?
You.
I was?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
With the hooch there. And he says the F-150...
I'm not going to lie. I'm buzzed.
Are you?
Yes.
Really? Like a good buzz? Or?
Legitimate buzzed right now.
Nobody can tell.
I'm going to keep going. They can all tell.
Our iPhone MFer says in his Apple review, he stated he's listened to all the shows except for the Milton ones. That's funny. And he says, please approve and enable the truck show.
Hold on. Wow. I mean, I really,
What's wrong with you?
I want to like it. It's
delicious.
I envy it. I'm learning to like it. I'm just trying to get through the jitters. You know what I'm saying?
It says, can you guys please approve the Truck Show Podcast Facebook group? That's something that that's gonna happen next year. when I get back, because I want to get that. I want you guys to be able to interact with each other. I want to be there to be more interaction on the show and engagement, which will be cool. So yes, we got Greg S says Ram, Cedar says Ford. Let's see, GM as far as trucks for iPhone MFer. Mike says 2.5 Gen Toyota Tundra if you want it to last. Jeff Stevens says I've got a Dodge Unicorn 07 Cummins with factory 410 gears.
Oh wow,
that's cool. Oh man, Michael said he.
Although wait, hold on a second. With the 410s though, aren't you chopping out 80 miles an hour? Like, I mean, it's great for towing.
Damn right, it's great for towing.
But like, that's it. Like the
Do you really want to go more than 80 in a first gen Ram?
The dually that I'm driving right now, the 07's got 410s in it, and it blows because as soon as you cross 74 miles an hour, you're drinking fuel, guzzling it.
All right. So Michael says he had to sign off, so hopefully everything's cool with him, with his family.
Who's Dewey Tard? Who's Dewey Tard, and what are you driving? I don't know who you are, and I want to find out.
A scream name or a screen name?
I'm Robert.
What's up, Robert?
Hi, Robert.
I have a 2000 F350 7.3, and it is a 6-speed. My family's been Ford people since way before I was born. So my grandparents had a trucking business as well. Someone else mentioned that, but and they were always Ford people. So
how did they become Ford people? Like, how does that happen? I wonder. How did your parents become Ford or GM or Ram people?
Well, my grandpa really liked. I think the Ford diesel was one of the first ones that were good in his opinion, and so that's what he went with. So I don't know. I think everyone probably just has their own opinions. Obviously,
I have a question for the room here. We've all seen the Calvin and Hobbes stickers, one peeing on the other and stuff like that. At what point do you start loving your brand so much that you have the Come and See tattoo, or you've got the bow tie or the Ford oval? When does that happen? Because, you know, we're talking to you guys, and we all have our brands that we love. Now, Holman is partial to Jeep and Ford, hasn't owned a GM truck, I think, that we talked about, right?
I like Rams. I like Fords. I do like GM, especially the new stuff.
No,
the old stuff, the steering wheel's
but
offset.
You haven't
I can't
owned,
try that.
But you haven't committed financially to those. So you're not like the guy. I'm talking about, when does it become a family thing where we've spoken to a lot of guys, Holman, as over these 400 plus episodes that are like, we're an X family. Like, we drive this vehicle.
I think we talked about this. When I came into the automotive industry, I was a hardcore Ford guy. No idea why. My grandpa had GMs, and my parents were Honda and Toyota people. I just, for whatever reason, I like Fords. Just always liked Fords. And but once I got in the industry, I started driving all the Fords and all the Rams and all the Chevys. I got to a point where I'm like, oh, okay, well, they're all pretty good in different ways, right? And so that kind of shaped me, because early on, I was like, oh man, I hate driving. Oh, free truck for a week, right? And then you start figuring out, like, back in the day, Ford had really good interiors, but the drivetrains were really underpowered. And then you had like really good simplicity with the Ram powertrain, but the truck would fall apart around it. And then you had GM somewhere in the middle, where usually the drivetrains were really good, but the IFS kind of held it back, or the interference front suspension on it. And they all just have their own different personalities. So it's taken me time over decades to really unform my opinion on it, which is why I think it makes me a good automotive journalist, because I can take a step back. And I also don't go
wait, are you saying that for the first 15, 20 years you were...
No, I'm not saying that.
You were not, you were biased?
No. What I'm saying is, over time, I've become even less biased, because I can see it from a wide perspective. So, for example, I may have to go drive something that's not geared toward me. A lot of automotive journalists, they will go and they will get in that car and they'll do it from their personal point of view. It's like, that's not the consumer that, every time you go to a media drive, there's a meeting before, the engineers and marketing team walk you and they tell you who the target customer is. I put myself in that person's seat, in their shoes, so I can understand, oh, if I could do a minivan review, I'm not looking for a minivan, but I could do a review after I understand the customer, right? And not everybody does that. So I think that's kind of those things that have made me, I think, decent at my job. One of the things I wanted to ask you guys, if you can use the chat too, is what were your favorite moments of the Truck Show podcast over the past 6.5 years? And then the other side is what...
why do you listen?
Well, that would be a good one. But do you guys have any questions, if any through lines, the Ballard story, the headlights, whatever? Are there things that we brought up or backstories that you never heard that you were always curious about? Throw those in the chat, and we'll try and answer those as we go through. Because I'm sure there's some stuff out there you might be curious about.
So
and lightning's free flowing right now.
I mean, so I'm getting drunk. I'm not gonna lie. This is.
Did you need an Uber to get home?
I did not. So my food today consisted of a small piece of lasagna at the Banks dinner, or I should say breakfast. We had it like 10:30 in the morning. I don't know what that was. It's like a brunch for everyone. And then I had some chocolate chip cookies and some candy.
He does like chocolate chip cookies. That is not a that's not a shtick.
Then this.
Oh, do you need more of that?
So I do. I need a refill. So I'm getting lubricated, is what I'm saying. As you guys chime in tonight, we do genuinely want to hear what you have to say about the show. Although it doesn't matter to me because I'm leaving. So I am curious what you think about the show and why you listen. And I joke, I'm kind of like lighthearted about it, but we've done this for 7 years, Holman and I, and I mean, he's literally, I'm going to turn my screen right there, right? So that's that guy. We're in the same room, we're facing each other. And we've been in generally
offset,
the same.
Just so you know, our knees don't touch.
Our knees do not touch. But we've been doing this for 7 years.
7 years, coming up 7.
And we did this before I worked at Banks. And in the last year, Banks has become so busy that I had to kind of make a decision. Am I going to focus on that? Am I going to focus on this?
Are you turning this in? Wait.
A little bit.
Are you skipping ahead? Or are you just going to do this now?
A little bit.
Yeah, all right.
So I think I am curious what you guys like about the show. I'm very self-deprecating. I don't think I bring a lot to the show, right? I bring color. Holman, the guy across from me, is the one that brings the truck news. He's the one that's breaking the news, generally speaking. I've got my funny anecdotes and my really long stories, which I think add some color. But this is the guy that brings you the base of the podcast. And he will continue to do so. This might be my last episode. There might be one more after this, but I am moving on to dedicate my time to both Banks and my family, who has not really seen much of me on the weekends for the past 7 years. This show, we always joke about editing. I get it. That, like, you guys probably don't have your own podcast, and we screw up a lot. Holman and I are not professionals. Even though we've done this for 7 years, neither of us are classically trained nor talented radio broadcasters. So we botch things a lot, and I have to clean all that up in post, and it takes 6 hours every single weekend. And 3 weekends ago, I was in Las Vegas in a nice hotel room overlooking the Strip editing for 6 hours when all of my friends were going, we're going to drive Ferraris, and I couldn't do it because I was editing. So I'm going to make a very bold move, and I'm going to step aside and let Holman steer the podcast going forward. And I have every confidence that the show is going to be as good or better than it has been with me.
Or at least as sucky as you guys are used to.
Or maybe that too. And it pains me to do that. I'm going to feel lost and probably despair. I don't know how I'm going to feel.
Just
when
so
I'm
you
not
guys
doing
know,
this anymore.
Lightning was not pushed out. This was his decision, not a me decision.
No, listen.
And
Holman and I sat at norms, and you guys are in from Southern California. There's only like 5 norms. I think there's like, how many norms
I
are
don't
there?
know. There's
less than a dozen.
It's SoCal Denny's.
It's norms, and it's like a Denny's, but like a 0.5% better. And 7.5 years ago, we sat at norms and on an actual napkin, because we thought it would be funnier to do it than a spiral bound notepad or something. On a napkin, we freaking wrote the notes to show number 1, and came up with it. And we want to make this show that does this, this, and this, and we did it. And we came up with it, and we've been doing it for 7 years.
We've been, just as evidenced by you guys here, spending a Friday evening with us. I think we've done a pretty good job of staying. We're usually in the top 25 of automotive. There's some huge podcasts out there that have some amazing backing and a bunch of money behind them. This is literally, we like to joke 2 dudes in a shed. It literally is a shed in my backyard that I built. So when I left Motor Trend and I was able to take ownership of the podcast, I invested in us. I invested in the shed. I invested in the studio so that we could still bring you quality content and high quality audio. And that was really important to me. I didn't want to walk away from this. I felt like we had created something and we had an opportunity to keep it going. And it'll be a little bit different going forward. Obviously, I am not necessarily an audio editor, although I know a lot of you heard that 2.5-minute clip that I posted today to remind you to join in. And I put an intro in there, I put an outro in there, I put me in the middle. So it turned out all right. So the audio quality might suffer half a step. But the reality is the Truck Show podcast with Holman will be going forward, and we'll have some guests in here, just like normal, but also some co-hosts that you guys have come to know. Emmy's already raised her hand, said she'd like to come in.
I asked if I could be a guest, and Holman said no.
That's not true.
He said you ditched out on me, and I'll never have you back on. You're an
That's not true. And then also Mike Rice, who's been on the show a few times, filled in for Lightning when he was COVID bound. And then David Freiberger is coming back early in the year. Mike Finnegan, some of my friends. Talked to Aaron Kaufman. He'll probably come back on. So we've got some cool stuff coming. We got some good contacts out there. We'll make it fun and try and keep delivering you the same fun podcast that you've had. It'll probably be a little bit different. We'll still do it 2 times a week. It'll just be without lighting, so a lot less editing.
We'll see. We'll see.
And
so you're saying that with me gone, you're going to be stellar all of a sudden magically?
I'm going to pay somebody who's better than both of us. And the other thing is, we joke about it, but we do this at night, usually from about 7 at night till about midnight. And after
they know this is live.
Well, tonight is, but this isn't that unusual. So it's hard after a long day of doing all the things that we do to come in here and be in a good mood and put on a show that you guys can listen to and enjoy on your commute. I won't be tied to Jay's schedule, so I'll be able to get some guests on the East Coast that have been hard to get during the day, during their work hours, things like that. So we'll have a little bit more flexibility, and so hopefully some of the guests that have maybe eluded us a little bit because of
the time change
and things like that, we'll be able to get some of those people in. So that's the big news. The big news is Lightning. We were going to kill him off. It was going to be some sort of a bollard accident, but he lives on, just not here. And
can you imagine if I was standing above a bollard and hit the button and it sprang up and went through me?
And that was it? You're just done?
Oh yeah, just
so it would
right up through me.
It would push your spine back in from the Kachi Motorsports
That's
Ram.
exactly right. Yes.
So anyway, yeah, that's it. So I'm going to be taking this on and doing it on my own. So hopefully you guys will still be as engaged as you are now.
If you guys are awesome, you'll all bail and have 0 listens on the first solo episode and scare him.
Yeah, it's kind of like
don't even listen.
When a guy
don't download it.
When a guy in the major league hits a home run for the first time and nobody in the dugout acknowledges him. That's what that's going to be like. Everybody's just going to abandon me.
Don't do that.
Dude, it's crazy.
I love my man Sean. Don't do that. I say this. I'm going to get it all weird, but
too late.
You've liquored me up, so I should get all weird. But this guy, clearly, you listen, 400 plus episodes. I don't have what it takes to do this show alone.
Neither do I.
But I think you do. I think that you do need some color, but I think you've got a foundation. You're a truck guy through and through. You're a respected journalist, reviewer. People look to you for advice, not just.
I'm not used to people saying you in general.
Well,
specifically saying nice things about me.
Listen, I will say this long after I'm gone. You write incredibly well. You've done thousands of articles that are entertaining to read. You're a wordsmith. You guys don't know this. I've been trying to hire him at Banks, and he can't do it because he's been hired by other clients, suspension companies, you name it. They want a piece of my man Sean Holman over here. So he's got the podcast. Anyway, I'm getting a credibility in your ability to do this show. I have, again, the utmost confidence that you are going to do the show that I would want to listen to, because I will be now a listener instead of
and then you're gonna
a co-host.
God, why did he do that audio mix that way? Oh, I heard the cut. Oh, this guy's horrible. It's going to be hard on you.
If you edit in between a breath, if you cut a breath in half, I'm going to be pissed.
I know.
But there's nothing I can do.
That may just be my wink back to you. It may just be a lightning callback, only because I know you're listening. Well, I appreciate your kind words. It's been a hell of a journey. You guys who've listened to the show, we've known each other for 25 years. And to go and do this creative project, I'm just not ready to let it end. I mean, we've got a lot of crazy good content. We've got a great group of people like you guys, our listeners, And I'm just not done. I feel like we've got more to add. Mr. Pass has raised his hand. Let's hear from Dan.
As somebody who started listening to you guys when we were there, I was working for Nissan in Japan at the time. I cannot thank you enough. The smiles on my face, the just laughing on a metro and a Japanese metro was kind of odd for other folks to see why I was doing that. First thing in the morning, I can't thank you enough for the banter, for the chemistry. And I know, Sean, for many, many, many years, I know you are going to rock this out. I hope to join you on future podcasts. And Lightning, thank you so much for everything that you've brought to this. It has been a pleasure to listen to you and to listen to Jaboobly and Lightning and the whole bit. It's been an absolute too much fun. So I thank you so much for bringing so much to all of us.
I appreciate that, my friend. We have known each other a very, very long time. We've done some cool stuff together. I won't talk about Josh Clifton's birthday in downtown Detroit on one icy, snowy night, but
he's telling you don't. Don't. If you want a renewal, don't do it.
But we've had some great times, and we've done a lot of fun things, and I appreciate your support over the years for sure.
So I feel like that's not the way I expected to break the news, but like we've been hinting at it, and we thought it was.
You thought? I thought we were just going to end the show. Now we have a bunch of comments we have to go through now, so we can't end it on that.
You can do whatever you want, but like it's kind of becoming your show. Are we going to do? It's the next show with me. We haven't decided.
I think we have one more for the end of the year. We have to do our our Have You Heard? So we'll have some fun with that.
Okay.
Going back to the episodes, Greg says.
By the way, can I pause you for 1 second? Because I'm not going to get a whole lot more chance to talk. You can follow me, although I don't suggest it, but you can follow me at LBC Lightning, and I am now on X.
Oh, not Threads?
No, I'm not going to do Threads. Threads, no one's doing.
Remember when you put Truck Show Podcast on Threads? Like, what are you doing? Nobody cares.
But I did it because you're supposed to do that. You know what I mean? Like and when something new like that comes along, you add it. Anyway, so Instagram, YouTube. So the YouTube is different. That's my name, Jay Tillis, JAYTI.
Oh my God, he dropped Lightning. Well, Lightning is really dying here.
So no, well, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird saying goodbye to that persona in a way.
So I had a conversation with Gail Banks. It's no secret that I work for him. And I said, I'm dialing back from the podcast. I've been known as Lightning since 1991 when Bean of the Kevin and Bean Show named me Lightning. I was an intern. I was 20. I turned 21 at the station. And he doled out the nicknames. I've been known as Lightning since that time. And why did he call me Lightning?
30 years.
Because he thought I was slow. Because there was a guy, if you go back and there's a 50s or 60s, I guess 50s, it was black and white, a show called Amos and Andy. Super racist now if you watch it. I don't think you can find it.
I can't find it streaming.
There was a black guy who swept the hallway, and his name was Lightning. And every time they would walk down the hallway of this particular apartment building, they'd say, "Hey, Lightning, what's going on?" And he was just barely moving.
You know, one thing is getting pretty clear to me, Lightning. Part of this house is missing.
It sure is. And so Bean named me Lightning. It was either going to be that or Curious George because I asked so many questions. And Lightning stuck. So I've been known as Lightning for more than half of my life, which is crazy. And I was telling Gail that closing this chapter is the end of Lightning, which is
weird.
It's super weird. It's super weird because I have been at grocery stores. Again, I'm in LA. K-Rock, KROQ was a really big radio station.
The biggest.
And I was not Kevin or Bean, but I was on camera enough some people could recognize me or they'd hear my voice. I guess it's apparently distinct. And
except for people still mix us up, which is funny to me.
Yeah, I don't know how that can happen.
Yeah.
I clearly have a squeaky, whiny voice. And they'll say, Lightning, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And that chapter closes tonight.
Yeah, not tonight. Maybe in a week or two.
Or that.
All right. Well, we won't. We're not going to put the funeral on for Lightning. Rich has his hand raised. Rich, why don't you jump on in?
So, what you're saying is, with this shirt here saying Lightning and Holman, I need to frame it and hang on to it now, and I gotta stop wearing it.
Lightning has about 400 T-shirts that he bought just before he decided to leave the show.
That's not true.
And they're sitting in boxes, and I'm sure the old logo will be on some Haitian children, keeping them warm
He's
soon.
Joking. What happened is before SEMA, the SEMA show, I ordered 24 T-shirts just for Holman and I. They're all extra larges because we're both fat. I ordered 24 extra larges, and I ordered them in red, black, charcoal gray, heather, like all really cool shirts for us to wear on camera. Because I figured we would maybe taking selfies around SEMA as we often do. And that is around the time then that this decision was made that I would be bouncing from the show. And so now I have a box in my house, in my office, of these brand new Lightning and Holman shirts that are all extra larges. I can't possibly use them. My 19-year-old wears larges, and my 22-year-old wears extra larges. He doesn't care about the show because dad's lame, right? Because all dads are lame. If you want one of these, you can email me, lightning@truckshowpodcast.com, before Holman shuts off my email address.
Want to see something weird?
If you want one of these, that's weird.
Isn't that weird? That's the new logo.
Yeah, that's odd.
Does that make you feel weird?
It should just be the Truck Show Podcast. Take the width off.
Yeah, no.
Don't really?
Yeah, no.
Are you trying to be a star? What's
No,
going on here?
I built this thing. I'm not going to walk away from it that easy.
We built this city.
And then want to see something else kind of weird?
Okay, so anyway, lightning@truckshowpodcast.com. I've got a couple dozen shirts. I will send them out until they're gone, and I will eat the shipping. I'll send them out to you.
All right, check this out. So this is I've got the new 25 Frontier, and our buddy Johnny O hooked me up, and we
Those
did
are great shots.
Photo shoot.
Oh, that's you.
So here's the.
I knew you were doing this. It's so funny.
I told you I was doing it. You're supposed to do it with me.
Bullshit. You
No,
did.
no, I
you
did.
told me that you were. I need
That has the old logo as a
mic.
placeholder.
I need the microphone, and
Because
I need
I'm
the other
doing a
stuff.
photo shoot.
You didn't say why. I knew what you were doing.
I told you.
You did
I've
not.
been working on this for 3 months to get this truck, but it came late. Look how butthurt he is. He's so upset. Listen, dude, life goes on, and
I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
I gotta update the logos.
I
and
appreciate
stuff,
that.
You know,
it would have been awesome for me to be in that photo shoot, and then you have to scrub me out later.
no,
Photoshop me out.
I didn't tell you where it was. I told you it was happening. I didn't tell
I
you
know.
where it was.
I know you didn't. Johnny O, he's a great photographer.
Dude, he knocked out like 7 or 8 different sets of photos for me in about an hour.
I love
So
that dude.
It was great.
I love that dude.
And so, yeah. All right, going back to the comments, Greg says his favorite episode was the fruitcake, hands down. That has to be one of my favorites. It was 100% real, and I think Dan Pass is still on, but we had one of those fruitcakes. So Brent Hagen, who's on the show a lot from Nissan, he and I went duck hunting, and Dan was supposed to go, and somehow in the last few minutes, Dan did not show up, so we printed, he just popped back on camera.
Fair, wait.
All right, what's the story? Come on.
Right. I just saw that. I just saw the flat. All right, sorry.
So
Sorry.
we printed out a picture of Dan, and we called him Flat Duck Dan, and we took him wherever we went. We went in the duck blind. We took pictures of him drinking whiskey. We took pictures of him with a shotgun. We took pictures of him all over the place, and it was hilarious. Anyway, I have no idea where I was going with that story, other than that is super funny. I know where I was going with that. I was going with the fruitcake because we brought one of those damn fruitcakes with us, and we took a picture and sent it to Dan, who wasn't on our trip, and we were like, we're eating the fruitcake. He's like, why would you guys do that? And at that point, I think there were 4 fruitcakes left, and this was after our episode. Yeah, maybe 4 or 5, and it was horrendous. It was so bad. What you guys hear in the fruitcake episode,
it was real.
It was real. We were literally crying with laughter because it was so freaking disgusting. We had our buddy Corey Barr, who's a famous chef, on there. We had the doctor.
You had Wendy on there.
We had Wendy on there.
We had Dr. Mo.
We had Dr. Mo on
from
there
Loveline.
I mean, that was some of our best
really
work.
Did it, and the funny part about that was that was all baked up over a lunch with Bedore and with Orthman and all those guys, and we were talking about the new warranty on the Titan being 10 years. And the whole thing is what could last longer than 10 years. And I was just joking, and I said, a fruitcake.
Really?
I heard there might be one of those.
That's how it happened?
That's how it happened.
That's literally how it happened.
They went to Costco in Franklin, Tennessee, near the headquarters.
Literally, Wendy went to Costco right after that lunch.
And bought them all out.
Exactly
And-
right.
And they stuck stickers. They had stickers made. Nissan, this is the only thing that outlasts your Nissan warranty.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they mailed them out. And
That is 100% the truth.
that was one of those like really funny moments where to me that was like the high point. It's all been downhill since then. But
we've had some great moments, but that was, I think the magic with that episode is that we were in the world's worst studio. I mean, it was disgusting.
And when Wendy showed up with that, the case and the whole, I mean, wow.
yeah, the lockable like Pelican
that
case.
was hysterical.
And
just unbelievable.
We were in, you guys don't understand, even if you were listening in the beginning, how bad it was. We were in a warehouse that stored Motor Trend cars. And in this warehouse, which was just a stand-up concrete building, your typical concrete, walled warehouse, was a 2x4 and drywall office complex that had like 4 offices and a bathroom. And they used the room for the podcast that we were in for storage. And so I had to beg facilities when we started the podcast to let us use that room because it was closer for us to drive than going all the way up to LA or whatever. And
although it was conveniently located by a Der Wiener Schnitzel.
It was very close. And then we also had lots of people doing meth and stuff right outside the window while we recorded.
That happened.
And they left us the casting couch, which was super. I mean, dude, when I tell you how disgusting this couch is, none of you have any idea. There isn't anything on the internet that you've seen that was as disgusting as
let
this
me
couch.
explain the casting couch. That's easy to explain. If you've ever taken your finger and rubbed it across like an auto part and you came across with oil or residue under your fingernail, you could do that on the couch. You could scrape your finger on the couch and you would come up with gross gunk under your fingernail.
Food, it had discoloring. And they're like, well, we're not moving the couch out of there. I'm like, all right, we'll just use it. And we went to Harbor Freight. We had no budget. So you guys understand that when Lightning and I talked about this show, we had talked about this show for like 6 months. I remember I was driving back through the desert from something, and he called me and he goes, we should do this thing, blah, 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 we should do it. And I'm like, let's do it at my company and not your company because I think we can get some longer legs out of it. So we ended up pitching it to Motor Trend. Well, it took like 6 months of business cases for it to happen, and they were like, the original business case was print is in decline. What's something else that has high engagement that isn't expensive to do? And I said, well, there's a lot of upfront capital costs with like equipment and stuff, but after that, it's pretty low budget to keep it going. So we bought Harbor Freight blankets because the walls are concrete to keep the echo down. We bought some decent equipment. In fact, the mics that you hear me talking on now are the original mics, the RE20s that we started with, 6.5, almost 7 years ago. And we just bootstrapped it. And it was fun. I remember our 50th episode. My parents came and brought us a 50th cake. And I look now, we've got 425 or something like that. And you look back, and
not
you're like,
cakes, episodes,
and also cakes. It turns out, but it's one of those things where, man, time has flown. And I look back to that original studio. We had, ants were crawling on the mic, and they would crawl into my beard while I was talking.
Well, so he didn't know that. I had to point it out. I go, Holman, you have an ant in your beard here. It's like, I do. And he'd do this. He'd do one of these and grab his beard and then hold it up, and then now the ant is on his finger.
Yeah,
I was like, dude,
that was all real. I know. There's some people who think that was shtick, but we had a lot of fun. So,
and by the way, Holman will still continue to have fun.
I hope so. Let's see. Greg says, I love being able to hear from industry experts and different companies. I appreciate being able to learn with each episode. We appreciate that. And Caesar says, you just said the big news. Yeah. Marshall is booing us. Jeff says, hearing how entrepreneurs got their start. We'll continue to bring that. We love those entrepreneurial stories. We love talking to people who started their own businesses, and that stuff is super awesome. Mike says, I like that Jay brings the non-industry point of view to the show. I also really enjoy the interaction between Sean and Jay.
Can I stop you?
Totally understand why Jay might need a break.
Hold on a second. Can I stop? I love the fact that he says, I love how Jay brings the non-industry point of view, and I'm in the industry. Like, that's how non-credible I am. I'm such like a doofus, ordinary guy, and I'm the marketing director at a very large diesel performance company.
Yeah.
Yes, I was about to say how much we made this year, and I shouldn't.
No.
Because it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
We broke several
Keep in mind,
66-year records.
You're under the influence right now. Easy.
I'm not saying.
All right.
I'm saying that if you like Banks products, you're not going to get one anytime soon because we're back ordered on everything.
All right, great. Well, don't say that because now they're not going to try.
Oh, no, we've solved the back order issue.
There
If you order something today, you'll get it tomorrow.
There you go. Greg also says he totally understands. You guys are legends. I always support TSP, but we'll miss you, Jay. I appreciate that, Greg. More than you know. Blake says, y'all provide a more personable experience in TSP compared to the other automotive podcasts. We'll miss you, Jay. Caesar, I'm always available locally to help in any way possible. Appreciate that, brother. Marshall, gonna miss you, Lightning. And everybody else is like, same. Marshall says, do I need to print Lightning a new dick? I do believe you do, but make it girthier for him. The other one was a little undersized.
It's it may be thin, but at least it's short.
That's right. And then our iPhone MFer, damn it, Jay, we really appreciated you. Effing A, gonna miss you. Holman's awesome, but dude, I'll miss you, Jay.
So the thing is, I'm not dying, as far as I know. I mean,
you're dead. You're dead on the show.
I'm dead to the show.
Yeah.
But I'm not dying in real life.
No,
kind of.
probably.
I mean,
it's
am
maybe
dying
it's
slowly.
a slow death.
Slowly, for sure.
Dan says, thank you guys. Amazing run. Caesar, who's cutting onions? You're cutting onions. I'm not cutting onions. You're cutting onions. Jason, do what you need to do. Thanks for the ride. And gosh darn it, people like you. Saturday Night Live reference. Holman will be here. Please keep on keeping on. We love hearing your perspective. Love OVR. Thank you. I mean, obviously, if you guys follow the show, you know I have a lot going on. I've got the OVR magazine stuff. I've got the Use for Adventure consulting freelance stuff. I've got the show, and then
Is this humble bragging? What's happening?
No. I coach girls softball. I'm on board of directors of stuff. It's life is busy, and it would be really easy for me to look at this opportunity of you walking away and just going, now's the natural death of the show. Let's just end it. Rigged for Dirt yesterday announced that they're ending their podcast, Ollie and Frank. And they've been around for a long time. And
I don't even know who they are.
And I saw some other people that have talked about it. I said, this isn't the time. I think the truck show has legs. I think this has life. And I only point that out is as busy as I am, I'm still going to dedicate my time to make this happen because I feel like I'm kind of letting you guys down a little bit. And I bring this story up because it matters. But the one guy who wrote in and said that he and his dad weren't talking for years, ended up working on their C10 together, project that stalled out because they had arguments, started listening to the show while working on it. The show brought them together, and his dad died of cancer like a year later. And it was because of this show that he was able to re-engage with his dad before he died. And if it weren't for us, they never would have made peace with each other. To me, that's so far beyond anything that he and I planned when we were at Norm's eating steak and eggs, writing on napkins, that it just... I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to turn it in. I've got a lot invested in me and you guys. We want to keep this going. So I appreciate that. Mike says, Sean, please keep the show going. I like the idea of rotating guest co-hosts. Jay, now that you're focusing on Banks, will we be seeing the iDash Pro soon?
The iDash Pro?
Yeah.
There's one in the truck outside.
He wants to know when he can get one.
January
Q1
15th?
Okay.
Something like that.
Jay on X, what the F? Lightning, we're going to miss the S out of you, but I really appreciate all the years of TSP content. Please keep being cool. Sounds like a yearbook thing. Not the end of Lightning. Your social guy wears XL. I think Dave's saying he wants some old school shirts. I guess what'll be old school shirts now. Please, can I get an XXL so I can have one from Greg S., Dave Graham? Use your full name on that new logo. You know what? I thought about it, but then I thought it might be weird to people, so I don't know. And Dave also points out there's no gray in my beard when the show started. So,
well, thank you for the kind words. Super weird that I will not be coming here every Tuesday and Thursday night.
You realize that you and I have a more regular relationship
than we have with our wives?
Family, our wives, pooping. I can set my watch to you being 15 minutes late every week. Maybe sometimes 25.
That's not every week. Sometimes I'm early. I've shown up here before you occasionally.
Once, I think. Maybe twice.
Please.
Maybe twice. But yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird that Tuesday isn't my day of sitting in a closet with you, a padded room, talking to people we can't see. Which, if you think about it, podcasting is really freaking weird because we don't know who you guys are. We don't know that you're real people. We just throw it out there.
They're real.
And I see them now. But
they're all real. Emmanuel is real right here. Rocking the monster hat. Oh,
got
dude,
Nissan key fob right there.
There it is.
Yeah.
What's up? Hold on a second here. Manuel, chime in. Jump in here, Manuel. What are you driving?
So this is my Nissan Altima, 2017, but I drive a 2017 Colorado as well.
Nice.
And I have a Jeep as well, an 88 Wrangler YJ.
Oh, dude, YJ square headlight. Those things are coming in hard and fast right now. It's so funny. They were the cheapest Jeeps. Nobody wanted any of them. And now that we've moved on to where we're at, people are building YJs left and right. And they're like the last, like, real, like, I love a TJ, don't get me wrong. But a YJ still, you can get them with carbs, still leaf sprung, solid axle, super simple. And it still has like a nice dashboard and that old traditional, like, wide dash with all the individual gauges. That's cool. And all of a sudden, man, I'm seeing YJs everywhere. So don't let that thing go, because they're only getting like way cooler.
I just bought it a couple months back from a guy that couldn't work on it, and I got it for $1,800.
Yeah, nice. Four cylinder or 6-cylinder?
It's a 4-banger, yeah.
Okay, right on.
That's fine.
Some people have been asking me like where the flat fender is. They're like, "Hey, I haven't really seen your flat fender in a long time." I'm like, yeah, it's been 2 years. I dropped it off with Josh Gordon at M35, but I told him in his defense, I'm like, dude, just here's a bunch of cash, whatever hours it buys, just work on it in your free time. Like I don't need it. There's the flat fender with his new front bumper.
Oh, look at that!
So.
Wait, what's with the bezels on the lights? They look like teardrops.
So it's funny.
I've never seen that before.
Nope. So these are the wrong lights. Part of what makes this thing super ugly and awesome. It's a 42 Ford GPW.
Okay.
And so people look at it and they go, "Oh, it's a CJ because it has headlight buckets." And then they look at it with the teardrops and they're like, "What
is that?"
So those are actually, I think, 54 Chevy car headlight buckets. My uncle was daily driving this thing at one point, and he decided he couldn't see with the military halogens that are behind the grill. So he took a plasma torch, cut bigger holes, and he had a scrap Chevy car in the backyard and shoved these things in there. And I'm like, I can't get rid of them because that's the whole personality of that thing. If I get rid of it, it's like I've ruined it, right? Like I hate it. It's rusty. It's ranchy fresh. I had to, the frame rails were cracked. It was all bad. Like this is 50% better than it was.
Only 50%?
But it's one of those things where I'm like, I got to leave it. Like that's the story behind it.
The horn. What's up with that?
Okay, so...
Was that on that? You didn't put that on that?
So that's a J.C. Whitney horn.
Oh, yeah.
That my uncle bought and welded a angle iron bracket to mount it, and had a...
is it a Ooga horn?
It's a moo horn.
A moo?
So when you pull the lever on the steering column, it goes... and you just walk by and like you do it to kids or somebody walks by if they know where to push. And he's like, you got to leave the horn on there. And I'm like, I know. So if you look, the horn's still the rusty old green and red. This thing's been painted 47 colors. It's not in great shape. This is a sentimental project, but driving it with the Oddfire, it's stupid. It's cool. I'll have it home soon.
It looks a little weird with those brand new tires on there.
Yeah. Well, trust me, it needed tires. The NDTs weren't doing me any favors there. But anyway, so we'll talk about the flat fender. Hopefully we'll be able to do some stuff with the F100. And, going into the new year, we've got AMSOIL, we've got Nissan. And I know some of you guys are knife guys, right? We had ProTech on recently, just signed Kershaw Knives. So this is the first time that I'm telling you guys that. So Kershaw Knives is going to be doing some stuff with us for the entire year. And we're actually going to probably have a truck show discount code, working on them now on our featured page. So if you're a knife guy and you want to get some Kershaw action, they reached out and they want to advertise for the whole year. So Kershaw Knives will be a familiar name, and that's awesome. So we're talking to some other people. We haven't told everybody that Lightning's left yet, so hopefully they don't abandon us.
Yes, we did.
But we've got sponsorships. We got people. We're gonna keep this thing going, and I can't tell all of you enough how much I appreciate you. And from the bottom of my heart, I'll tell you one last thing, and I don't want to waste all of your nights like we usually do. But
hold on, I've edited this show. It's like only 5 minutes.
I mean them.
It's only 5 minutes in now.
But here's the thing: they're wasting one more night, and they can't go 2x on us right now, right?
Yeah. By the way, Mike has not said anything, and Mike has been chilling all night, just listening, observing. I want you to pause, Holman.
Okay.
I want to hear what Mike has to say. Mike, unmute yourself. Chime in.
All right. Well, thanks for the great show. Really love listening to you guys. what was funny, I came in probably, during the COVID period. So I have listened to all the shows, but not from the beginning. I listened to you for whatever, 2-3 years. And I finally looked you guys up, and I really thought Jay was Sean and Sean was Jay just based on your voices and how you looked. I was like, man, every time it gets me too. It's like that. The voice doesn't match the face. It's backwards, but
That's funny. I'll never forget the time Lightning was in an elevator in Vegas. Somebody said, "Hey, Holman, I really like your show."
Yeah, that sucked ass. So then, hey, Mike, how did you find us?
I think during COVID, I was just searching for, I just Googled good truck and car podcasts, and you guys popped up.
You didn't put good in there, right? You just put truck podcast.
Truck podcast,
Yeah, just
exactly.
mostly, yeah.
So then, Mike, you tuned in. You were punished by the first episode you heard, and then you were so sadistic or masochistic. I don't know which one it is.
Sure.
You decided to listen
more
again.
Yeah, no, it was great from the beginning. I was like, man, I wish I'd have found this sooner. It's a great show. Really love it.
Awesome.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate you. What's funny is what I was going to say is I got laid off from Motor Trend. I kind of knew something was coming. I didn't know what the podcast was. In fact, if you hear the Let's Talk Trucks jingle that our friend Alan Goldman did first, that was in the running for what our new podcast name was going to be, Let's Talk Trucks. Because we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get the name of the truck show and the trademark and all that stuff. And we didn't even know if we'd be able to take our audience with us. And there was a few months of a lot of stress of trying to figure out, like, how's the podcast going to be? And then how am I going to make a living? And which is
how am I going to make a living?
Which, when you have a wife and 2 kids, it's fairly important, and a mortgage. So it's scary to go out on your own. You have a regular lifestyle, you get a regular paycheck, you got benefits, you got all the things that makes you cozy, and all of a sudden your world turns upside down, and you go, oh, I guess I could have appreciated that a little bit more. But I do appreciate the freedom that I have working for myself, and I couldn't do it without you guys in the show. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every one of you, and I hope you continue to listen, and I'm going to do my best to keep it going.
Okay. Well, the last half an hour has been
sad.
Me and you talking about me bailing and you trying to keep the show going.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think that they believe we're going to do that. You're going to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to bail and you're going to keep it going.
Uh-huh.
So,
is this where you tell them it's April Fool's? No, I'm just kidding. It's not April Fool's.
It's not. It's not. Because I would have a lot of distortion and things going on if...
Did you just hit your mic like the 8th time tonight?
I'm drunk. I'm drunk. You've intoxicated me with this hellish
elixir.
Liquid. Yeah. I want to thank everyone for coming around and being part of this webcast, this Zoom. But thank you very much for being part of the webcast. The audio, of course, you guys are listening to now. This is, it's been amazing. I appreciate it. We're going to do one more episode, which is the news. Have you heard? And the show will continue without me. But you guys, again, you can find me, Lightning. I don't think you care, but if you do, LBC Lightning on Instagram, LBC Lightning.
And if you want to stalk him or see his
X.
ballers, I have his home address. So happy to give that out.
My name, you just Google me. There's a lot of stuff that comes up. You'll find me, Jay Tillis, Tilles. I got a lot of subscribers on YouTube because of the baller thing went viral. So now I have to make content to make all of my 68,000 subscribers happy. So I
should tell them that you died and they should come to the
YouTuber.
Truck Show podcast for content.
I'm like a YouTuber now, all of a sudden. It was just super weird.
You think 60,000 makes you a YouTuber?
No, I think you need 250.
You got to be able to make money off
No,
of
I think
it.
you need 250. Yeah. Right. I think 250 is kind of like...
You're like a hobby YouTuber.
Well, like Greg Albarella and so many of the guys I know, like 250,000 with one video a week, you can be a YouTuber. Me, no. I'm a slave to the tube.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. And if anybody wants to raise their hand, use the little react button at the bottom, and we'll just go through the board. If there's anybody that has anything that they want to say or add, just do that. And then we'll bone out of the show. We'll end on the intro, and we know what we should do.
It's called an outro, by the way.
But I was thinking we should do the intro so we can all sing together.
The outro.
We should unmute everybody, and we should sing the Truck Show podcast.
They're all going to be a quarter-second delay.
I don't care. It's going to be perfect.
Awful.
No, it's going to be wonderful.
Lord, really?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Raise your hands if anybody wants to say anything, and then we're going to have a horrible outro intro.
They're not going to say anything. That's the way it goes. You know what I mean? They're just not. I'm asking everyone to unmute. Here we go. I'm going around the room. I got 100 people. They're all unmuting. Here we go. This is going to get ugly really fast.
Yeah, it's going to be horrible. Mm-hmm. But that's how we roll.
Are you ready for bad?
I feel like we can't do the Truck Show podcast.
Monitor, E engine parameter
By the way, that was on accident. Although funny, on accident.
It is funny. We are monitoring our parameters.
Are we starting this? You want to do the intro as the outro?
Yeah, because the outro doesn't have the full words.
All right, I get everyone's going to chime in and destroy it. Here we go.
The truck show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck. Cause truck rhymes with the truck show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel and the ones that run on gas. So the truck show, the truck show, the truck show. Oh, oh.
It's the Truck Show with your hosts, Lightning and Holman.
That was freaking awful.
That was so bad. Oh, one last thing before you fade this out.
Yeah.
I hit up Omar and I'm like, hey, I need you to redo the jingle. You got to take Jay out of it.
No way.
And he goes, I don't have the original files. I might have to redo it. I go, whatever, I'll pay you to do it. I'm like, but you have to change it up a little bit. So we'll see what it comes back with so we can hear. So starting, I think...
I'm going to tell him not to do it.
Don't do that because I'm going to give him money.
You have Suno. You've got AI.
But that's
not the same as a real guy.
I think the first episode coming back in January of Season 3, Episode 1. So as you guys know, Season 1 was our Motor Trend Life. Season 2 is Jay and I on our own. And Season 3 will be just Holman. I think it'll drop on probably Monday the 6th, something like that. So we'll take a couple weeks off. I'm headed out to Dakar to go, Saudi Arabia to go chase the Dakar Rally. So I'll get some content from that for you guys. And we'll fire this machine back up in January. So Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, so much for all your support. And, well, I'm not going to say we'll see you next year, but I'll tell you I'll see you next year. Cheers.
Wait a minute, Lightning. Wait a minute. Lightning, I think I got it.
You have?
Yeah, that's it.
What was it, Mr. Andy?
Lightning, the kingfish done gypped me.
He did? What you gonna do about it, Mr. Andy?
Lightning, we is going back to town. Because I'm going to do a little talking with that kingfish. Come on, let's go.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis with production elements by DJ Omar Khan. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and give us a 5-star rating. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to show your support than by patronizing our sponsors. Hey everyone, it is Saturday, and I've just wrapped up editing the podcast that you've just listened to, and I wanted to say thank you alone without Holman. And it's truly been an honor to have you listen to our little podcast for 7 years. Your emails, your voicemails, your direct messages, your personal messages, meeting many of you in person has been a blessing. And I can't thank you enough for being part of my life. I'm looking forward to keeping those relationships alive and well on social media, which you can hit me there. In the meantime, one more episode to go. See you in a couple days.